What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I have a very special graded return video. There's only one card in here, and to those who follow me on Instagram, which by the way, you should follow me, it's at Rhymestyle. I teased about it a couple days ago. I had this like Super Express graded, which normally I wait like 10 days. I'll do like the 10-day option. This one I chose 2 days because I wanted to grade it as soon as possible. As you can see, it is still sealed. I managed to pick this card up on trollandtoad.com. It popped up briefly, like literally for a couple minutes. It was well on the pricey side, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna go for it because I don't know when the next time you're gonna see this pop up, and I figured, hey, let's see what happens. If it's a bad grade, whatever, it's a learning experience, it's a good grade, I'm going to be beyond happy. Now, of course, based on the title of the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is my Shadowless first edition Charizard. Let me just break into this box so I can get all the paperwork out of the way. You know what? Actually, we'll just grab it like this. Oh, make sure I don't see it because I want to reveal this on the actual video. Put that to the side. And this is just a bunch of my personal information. Put that over here. Okay, here it is. Let me remove my super manly razor out of the way. There it is. Okay, so here's the deal. There's going to be 2 parts to this video. The first part is going to be the actual reveal here, and then the second part is going to be my next batch of cards. I just bought my mic that I'm going to send in. So if you only care about this one, feel free to watch this. If you want to see what I'm going to send in next, hang out here. Okay. So there is, as you guys can see by the title of the video, this is the first edition Shadowless Charizard. There are two grades that it comes down to that I'm really hoping for. It could come back as a 4, as a 5, as a 3, and that's going to be terrible. My personal one, my limit is I want it to be at least a 7 because then it'll be considered still near mint. I feel like realistically 8 is like a more big goal to reach for. If it's 8, I'm going to be beyond ecstatic. And if it's a 9, which it won't be, if it's a 9, I'm literally going to yell because at that point it's like a $6,000, $7,000 card based on the price that we see on eBay. I think for like a PSA graded 8, it's around $3,000, so like $2,500 to $3,000, and a PSA 7 roughly sells between $1,500 to $2,000, which is still pretty expensive for a single card. So here we go. What's it gonna be? Woo! Look at it, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. Let me actually look at it off freaking camera. Ooh, let me get a little closer look too as well because I want to see it. This is like the first time I'm holding it since I bought it. Now, the thing about this card is there are a lot of imperfections, and to those who don't know how PSA works, is they grade it based off of is it centered, which it looks pretty centered. I think it's a little bit off-centered, just barely. No, actually I can't tell. It's fairly centered. I think just on the top to bottom it's a little bit different because it's definitely thicker on the bottom than it is on top. So that's obviously points that was removed. The back looked absolutely magnificent. For a first edition Shadowless Charizard, it looked great. There was a little bit whitening at the top, which you can see right there, and the edges were kind of rough. But for the most part, it is solid. But honestly, what it's going to come down to, I think the biggest points that are going to get removed are actually, is there even that many scratches? There were like literally a couple. They're not as noticeable as like, you know, your average holographic card, because hollow part, remember the hollow part of the card can easily get ruined. But for the most part, it is solid. So I'm gonna guess an 8 because that's what I want. But again, 7 is all I'll be happy with. 9 I'll be ecstatic with. What is it? What is it? Yes, it's near mint. Okay, that's good. That's really, really good. It's not an 8 or a 9, but it's a 7. It's still considered exactly, you know, in the near mint category. Because I think after 7, it drops down to like excellent to near mint, which is like okay, but it also kills the value more. This right here specifically should be worth at least, like I said, between $1,500 to $2,000, and it still actively sells because again, the 8s and 9s and the 10s are definitely expensive. And if you guys don't know, PSA 10 first edition Charizards literally sell for like $25,000 to $30,000. In fact, a BGS 10 pristine condition Charizard literally sold for like 50 grand a couple weeks ago on eBay. It's ridiculous, all for a freaking Charizard. So just owning this, even as like a 7, 6, or even a 5 or 4, is really, really good. So you know what? I'm literally going to cherish this card first. This is officially my favorite card I have in my collection, and I definitely do not regret getting that. Woo! This is so beautiful. To kind of explain to those who don't get it, I don't have a Charizard. Actually, I do have a Charizard next to me. There's always a Charizard next to me. Let me make sure I can compare it real fast. Do I have one in this batch? There should be one in this batch. There always is one in this batch. Charizard. Oh, there we go. This is the perfect way to compare it. Oh, don't want to bump it. Now, notice how there's a shadow right here? That's what it means by shadowless. The initial first print of these didn't have a shadow on a border, and they were known as shadowless cards. And of course, the first edition was even more limited than, you know, they were compared to like the regular shadowless cards. So this is like the holy grail of Pokemon cards. You get this, you're done. You beat the game. I always told myself if I ever get a PSA 9 first edition Shadowless Charizard, I'm done. That's it. I've collected everything I've ever wanted in the game. but because of how expensive the card is, it's like, it's out of reach. The best way you can go about it, honestly, is if you happen to get lucky and get your hands on one of these, send it in to get graded, and it comes back as a good score. Again, I'm happy as this is a 7. I think I'm going to just stick to having a 7 and try not to pursue a 8, 9, or even a 10, just because I feel like it's impossible to do for my current situation, because again, they're very, very expensive. But you know what? I'm happy with this. So yeah. Okay. So if you want to leave now, by all means, feel free to do so. I'm going to go ahead and get into the collection of cards I'm going to send in next, because again, one of the big things I like to do on this channel is find old rare cards and send them in and see what happens as far as PSA grade returns. If you've been watching my videos in the last couple of months, really, I've had some really good hits come back as 10s. And I usually buy all of these on trollandtoad.com, where, you know, the second they pop up, I buy them at like regular card value, and then you send it in, and then it can either be, you know, you can either lose some money or win some. So for example, if you buy a first edition, well, actually Charizard, if you buy the Charizard I just showed you, not this one, they're like 50, 60 bucks on trollandtoad.com. If that comes back as a PSA 10, that is automatically a $1,200, $1,300 card. Like, a PSA 10 makes that much difference. Or you can get a PSA 9, in which case it ends up being around 200 bucks, which is still more than you actually paid. So it's kind of a gamble, but it's exciting, like trying to hunt down the perfect card and then, you know, trying to see what happens when they come back. But this is my next batch. I'm really excited about this one. And by the way, if you want to guess the grades for the next time I do PSA videos, feel free to comment down below. Pick one card. Actually, I challenge everybody to pick one card from this batch, and then say what you think is going to come back as. Dark Charizard First Edition, I think this is honestly going to come back as a 9. It's not perfect, but these freaking Rocket cards, they are so hard to get as 10s. Then we have this Fire Red Leaf Grid Charizard, which is actually really, really rare and valuable. But again, the problem with these is because of the hollow pattern around on the edges, they always get scratched, and it's like hard to even get like an 8 on these. So I'm going to guess, based on this, from what I see, this is probably going to be an 8 or 7. You probably already decided to get the background card. This right here is my current Holy Grail. The Aquapolis Lugia. It's like, if you have this as a PSA 10, it's easily worth like $1,200, $1,300. This won't be though. I think it's honestly going to come back as maybe like a 7 or an 8, but even then it's still pretty valuable. I mean, just because the card is so rare, it's like, it doesn't really matter if it's not a perfect 10. And I've been hunting this for like months, and this is the first time I saw it pop up on the website where I get my cards from, and I automatically snagged it. So we'll see what happens when this gets graded. Whew, this one. With the celebration of Shining Legends, which I'm going to open more of these soon, I saw a Shining Mew, or Gold Star Mew actually, Shiny Gold Star Mew, pop up on the website as well, and I'm going to definitely get this graded as well at some point in the near future. And by the way, there's a couple Shining cards in here. Of course, you got the 3 Legendary Beasts, which they randomly got a huge batch of these at on Troll and Toad's website a couple days ago, and I figured let's get like one of each. They're not as valuable as the Mew, but they're still like pretty rare. I mean, having a Gold Star is always valuable. This is just a promo card, I believe, right? No, it's not a promo card. It's from, I don't remember which set it's from, but it's only like a $6 card, so not that expensive. Base set 2 Charizard. These aren't as rare and as popular as the original Charizard. They're about $40 a card, but again, even having this as a 10 is still pretty valuable. And I figured any chance I can get to get a Charizard as a 10, I'm going to go for. We have the Delta Species Reverse Hollow Charizard. This, for some reason, again, I can't ever get as a 10 either, because again, the hollow pattern all around, and so the fact that it's a reverse hollow, it's gonna be a challenge. But I think this is honestly gonna be like another 6 or 7. You can see the split in the middle. That is not a scratch. It's just a printing error type of thing. It doesn't count as an error card. It's just how it was printed. So this is definitely gonna be like a 6 or something, which is like whatever. It wasn't that expensive. Then we got this Winter Rocket Mewtwo. As you guys know, Mewtwo is my favorite Pokemon of all time, so I figured, why not go for this? I have a Hitmonchan like this who came back as a 9. There's only like 3 in the world. Oh, by the way, I should probably check what this Charizard is. There probably is going to be a lot of these as far as 7s, but I think if you have the 10s, there's like 50 or so in the world, something like that. I'll double check in a couple seconds as well. But yeah, I saw this, it was cheap, figured why not, let's go for it. This I'm excited about. This is actually a McDonald's promo. I'm not even going to take out the pack. A McDonald's promo Charmander and Squirtle. As you guys know, my girlfriend, she loves water type Pokemon, especially Squirtle. And I grew up under Charizard and Charmander, so I got this one for myself and this one for her. And hopefully these come back as 10s, because they're pretty old cards. I think from like 2002, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And they're just really, really cute. I just like the art, which I can't show you just because the stupid stickers in the way, holding the sleeves, not glued to the actual card. Then we got another Mewtwo, not that special. Another Mewtwo. This is going to come back horrible because of the centering is just pretty bad. I can't tell if the centering is supposed to be like this on these cards or what, but it's not going to come back that good. I want to get a full art Lugia from Ancient Origins as a 10, and I've done it like 4 times now, and they always come back as 9s. I can't get a freaking 10. Once again, I jumped into more legend cards. This is just basically both sides a couple times actually. And again, the big problem before I start starting away is the fact that since this card is completely holographic, it always comes back scratched. Like, just for pulling out the pack, scratched. So my goal for these, honestly, is to get at least 1 9 for the top and the bottom. 10 will be great, but it's not gonna happen, unfortunately, just because it's just the chances is just so low because of the scratches and stuff. And finally, I got 3 Blastouses, 2 which are from Rocket and 1 is actually from Legendary Collection. But unfortunately, these didn't come back as good. As you can see, there's a bunch of whitening on the top and the edges and stuff. So this honestly might be like a 5, 6, or 7. And as far as these, I want to say 7 or 8. Because same situation as I did with the Charizard earlier. The grading method for these, I don't know if they're just more harsh or just they're just not as well printed, but it's really hard to get these as 10s, even as 9s. But hey, Rocket cards, especially first edition, are super in demand, so if you get them even as 9s, it's still a win. But yeah, let me actually just check real fast what the number of Charizards are. How many Charizards are for 7s? Because I do have it pulled up on the side over here, and it is, if my green screen messes up, don't mind me. It is 117 of these in the world, and over 1,000 higher between 8, 9, and 10, which is understandable. But 1,000 total between 7 and higher is still pretty good and pretty rare. I think there's a lot more. I think for like the base Charizard, there's like 5,000 something cards that are like 9s and stuff, or 10s. So again, that's another card that is a lot in print. But with these, the thing that makes them so rare is the fact they were so shortly printed on top of that first edition as well. So the holy grail. With that said, let me know your thoughts on this unboxing. Anything else you want to discuss down below as well, feel free to do so. Let's go for 300 likes as always. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend / day / whatever time it is that you're watching this video. My name is Ramstyle. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.